Hi friends, so you may remember from last week that our car tyre burst so we couldn't drive the car anywhere, but thankfully we actually did get it fixed, which means that the car is back to normal and we can do our normal stuff. But that's not the only positive thing I want to talk about. This week's positivity segment is quite a bit harder than a lot of them and quite a bit heavier than a lot of them, but it talks about finding the common denominator of a problem. So I know quite a few people who have basically the same story. They never hold on to relationships for very long, they don't hold on to friend groups for very long, and some of them say that their entire family hates them. Obviously at first we feel sorry for this person. It's unfair that they have been alienated from their family, or that people keep breaking up with them, or their friends keep deserting them. But often as you get to know these people, you realize that they have character traits that makes them hard to be friends with, or makes them hard to be in a relationship with, and sometimes makes it hard to be related to them. This isn't saying that people who have these character traits need to change who they are, but they do need to do some introspection and look at how they treat others and how they interact with others and what they can change. If you're that type of person and you realize your family has been alienating you and you don't really have friend groups that last longer than a year, for example, it might be time to do some introspection. Of course, it's always easier to blame our friends or our family and say that it's their problem. They have an issue with me. It's so much easier to say that than to realize it's my problem and I have an issue that I need to work on. But if you're having these recurring problems, you're the common denominator. And if you're the common denominator, you're the one who will need to make a change and do something about this so that this situation stops recurring. Treat the people around you with respect and kindness. If you want someone to be treating you with respect and kindness, you need to be doing that too. Again, it's so much easier to say, well, they're not treating me with respect and kindness, so why should I? Because you should be the bigger person. If you want to have a relationship with your family, or if you want this friend group to last, you need to put effort in, especially if you know from the past that you tend to not keep friend groups for very long. If you want to make this one work, then you have to put effort in. As the common denominator, you as a person have been present in all of these different issues, say in different friend groups or within your family, which means the issue probably originates from you. That doesn't mean that you are actively doing things wrong or that you're actively being mean to people, but maybe your tone of voice isn't as respectful as it could be, or maybe you tend to cancel plans all the time at the last minute, something a lot of friend groups don't really want to have to deal with. This is also true of romantic relationships. If you're in relationships that constantly fail within a few months, maybe you're doing something wrong. In this case, it's often not just you may be doing something wrong, like lacking respect or kindness towards others. You may be finding partners that aren't compatible with you. I worked as a nanny a few years ago, and the mother of the family always told me that she found her soulmate, and one day she asked me if I had found my soulmate in Ben. And I asked her, how do you know who's your soulmate? I can click with people and I don't click with other people, but when do you know whether it's actually really compatible and when it's kind of compatible? She said there's a few elements that you two should agree on and be on the same page on. Simple things like religion. Do you have the same religion? And if not, are you open and aware of the other person's religion? Commitment levels. Do you both want to get married or not? And are you okay with the idea of getting married or not getting married? Are you open to that? Having children is a big one. Do you really want to have kids and your partner really doesn't want to have kids? Because if that's the case, one of you is going to end up very hurt and very disappointed in the future. What are your political views? Where would you like to live? What are your jobs? What kind of hours do you work? All of these little things can work towards or against your compatibility. As I mentioned earlier on, if you're the kind of person you know that one day within the next few years you'd love to have children, and you're constantly dating people who do not want to have children in the hopes that maybe one day they'll change their minds, that relationship is most likely to fail. Purely because you are on completely different stances on a very important subject that neither of you can really bend on. If you're constantly going out and dating and entering relationships with people who don't align with you on some of these important subjects, the relationship will really struggle. Of course, it's always very hard to say who will be in the next few years. Will you always want to get married? Will you always never want kids? Is this going to change? Maybe being with a person who wants something else will change your mind. And that's definitely possible. But if you look back on your relationships and realize that they're always failing because of the same issue, say having children, maybe it's time for you to start actively looking for a partner who wants what you want. Yes, the old adage, opposites attract, is very true, and you should have different hobbies and different things that you enjoy so that you can do things separately and not always be stuck doing stuff as a couple. But there are certain things you do need to align on. And this idea is actually also true of friendships and even family relationships. So if you notice that your friendships or family relationships are also failing and you're being alienated from these groups, look at who you're being friends with. Do your friends think similarly to you? Do they like some of the same stuff that you like? Or are you guys completely different? When you're stuck in a string of bad relationships, be they family, platonic, or romantic, it's time to look at the common denominator and look at what you can do to make your experiences better in the future. Maybe it's just start looking at people who are interested in the same things you're interested in. Or maybe it's going to be a bit harder and look at your character traits and look at how you treat and talk to other people. Finding out that we're the problem in our relationships is never easy, but putting that work in as soon as you can will make your future relationships so much easier. So, because the car's better, we went to the mall and I got a new pop for my set and I'm very excited about it. Ta-da! It's Ghost from Game of Thrones. So for those of you who don't watch Game of Thrones, if you're under 18, please do not watch it. It is a show for adults. But yeah, for those of you who don't watch Game of Thrones, one of the characters has a direwolf, and direwolves are like really big wolves. And his wolf is all white, and he's got red eyes, and he's called Ghost. And so that is the pup of Ghost. And then obviously for those of you who do watch Game of Thrones, obviously it's Ghost, Jon Snow's direwolf. Oh my god, look at him! Look at him! He's so cute! Look at his little fluffy tail. Ugh. We need to find Ghost a home on the set. Where shall we put you, Ghost? Where do you want to go? That works. Look at him. And it's actually kind of funny because he's in front of the book The Sight and Fell, which is the second of that series. Can you call it a series if it's only 2 books? But that's a series if you don't know about it. It's about wolves! And he's a direwolf, which is almost a wolf. Hi friends, it's a Sunday afternoon. I've just finished filming a video for this week. As you can tell, I'm wearing some fancier makeup. It's a bit Capital inspired, so that gives you a bit of an idea for this week's video. But I wanted to give you guys a bit of a rundown about today. So this Sunday is the second Sunday of the month, and on the second Sunday of the month, all the Greyhound owners get together and we actually go to the beach in the next town over, and we walk the dogs on the beach. So we took some footage of that and I will show it to you right now. What we didn't manage to get on camera was Nanny getting the zooms. She always gets the zooms on the beach. She loves running on the sand. The problem is a lot of the greyhounds we walk with are ex-racing dogs, and so when she starts running around, they think she's a lure and they'll try to chase her. So I do have to make her stop zooming as soon as I can, which is why we didn't really catch that on film, because I was focusing more on her than on like getting a nice angle or something. I really love doing those greyhound walks. We do 2 a month now, so the first Sunday we just do them in the town that I live in, and then the second Sunday of the month we just go to the beach all together. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time for the humans to socialise, but it's also great for the doggos to be able to socialise and run around together and just have some fun. And it's just so nice to go to the seaside and just relax for a little bit. The really fun bit is that Nanny is always so tired. Let me show you. So as you can see, Nanny is still sleeping. Well, she's not. She's got her eyes open. But she's not the most awake dog. Ah, she blinked. Proof that she is not dead, even though she looks like she could be. So it's, what time is it, Ben?
It's 4:30 p.m.
4:30. So we came over the walk about 4.5 hours ago. And this is all she's done the whole time, is sleep. Nanny! Nanny! Hi! No? So yeah, as I said, Nanny, always so tired, and her being that tired means that I can film more easily and I can edit without having her running around trying to play with me. Ben can do some work more easily, so it just gives us the rest of the Sunday kind of off for us to do our own things. Well, I'm gonna go remove my Capital inspired makeup, mainly because I don't want to smudge it everywhere, because I don't think that'd be a good look. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye!